Hello everyone and welcome back to the Reese's Writing YouTube channel. Today we'll be beginning the journey of 5 science fiction films that I'll be watching over the coming week. So they're a bit obscure, a bit, they're not your mainstream films. I kind of want to go into more sort of obscure art housey, I guess. Science fiction films. I haven't really given them the light of day, which is surprising because I watch a lot of films, but I just haven't really given science fiction films a real try. So yeah, I may do this another time, or may do this with another genre or something. If you have any sort of recommendations of ideas for upcoming films or genres that I should try, leave them in the comment section down below, and I'll see what happens next. So I shall give my sort of first impressions, what I thought about the films when I finished them. So the first one that I'll be watching it's actually a short, Jette. I don't know if that's the right pronunciation of that. Terrible with pronunciations. It's from 1962, directed by Chris Marker. 28 minutes. It's about post-apocalyptic world during the aftermath of World War III. It sounds really interesting, so I will give it a watch and then come back here with my sort of first impressions of it. Okay, well, that was Jette or Jette. No, it's not. It's not J. It's Jette. I think. No, that sounds Italian. It was French. Anyway, my first sort of impressions of it, really good. I really enjoyed it. It was different, even for now. Although I'm, not so inclined to watching avant-garde sort of films, this felt different, felt interesting. It was sort of like montages of pictures. There was a few bits that felt like moving images, but the main way it was done, it was sort of stop motiony, less like one after another, and more big sweeping pictures that changed and moved around as people were moving. But yeah, anyway, I really enjoyed it, and it kind of, if you were to watch it, I feel like it really shows how important sort of moving in films is. Even if there's no zooming in, there's a few zooming ins on certain pictures, but just the pictures that are staying still, there's still that sort of film movement in there. There's still the sort of flickering that you get with film that really adds a lot of sort of missed out movement that you see, that if you were to just put a picture up there without any sort of movement in there, it adds some sort of needed movement to keep it interesting. But yeah, it's a lot more about the mind, about sort of photographic memory and reliving past lives or past memories, and keeping memories keeping memories. There's sort of future parts, past parts. I don't want to give it away. It's only 30 minutes. Go watch it. The sound was really good. I thought there was parts where there's heartbeats and whispering, that really gave it a little bit more sort of uneasiness about it all. Felt there was parts I was like, "Ugh, I feel a bit uncomfortable watching this." Um, that may have been the sort of the intention for it, but that's what I felt with the sound, and the music was good. Pretty, for I think it was 1962, is that right? Pretty like crazy stuff to be doing in 1962, I believe it is. Quite the story, the way it was done. It was all very like it was all very inventive, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. Go watch it if you haven't. And now we'll go on to the next one. Well, Strange Days by Catherine Bigelow, or Bigelow, Bigelow. I don't know. Catherine Bigelow. Strange Days. A lot of these, they aren't completely obscure. I'm sure people that, go on certain film sites or film apps or letterbox or whatever, you can find these films pretty easily. So it's about a policeman who sort of goes in on the illegal sale of virtual reality, like recordings of people, I presume. And yeah, that'll be my second one from 1995. And let's go to the next impressions. First impressions. Hey, I'm Peter Griffin. I can't do Peter. Okay, so I finished Strange Days by Catherine Bigelow, I don't know. Last night, and I really enjoyed it. It's got that 90s grunge, the 90s style that's so recognizable. Like, it just brings back some memories. And the thing is, most of those films, to me, they are pretty miss. They're more miss than hit. A lot of them can feel quite long, a bit boring at times. I think I reviewed They Live on my October recap. I felt that was dragging. I wasn't like thinking about this. Just, I don't know, something about it just struck a chord with me. I really enjoyed it. It may have been like the sort of change I needed after seeing Jette, but Jette or Jette, I don't know. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's got that 90s grunge. Ralph Fiennes, his voice, his American voice is bizarre. Is almost like John Malkovich, kind of. But it kind of worked. I've never seen him with long hair. He's got long hair. Yeah, it felt like I was watching WWE when I was a child again. Like staying up late, watching this crazy spectacle of a film. It felt like sort of Matrixy, very Philip K. Dick. If you like Philip K. Dick books, watch this. It hasn't got as much like philosophical sort of writing, like philosophical parts. It's just more sort of about the action, but it's very Philip K. Dickian in the way it's done. So it's about this guy who sort of sells virtual reality, and then it sort of goes wrong. People start dying, and he's like trying to find out who's doing this. And it does all sort of come together. There is a part at the end where they do this weird, like there's a reveal at the end, and the way they did it, the way the editing was like dish, 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 is so weird. Quite jarring. I guess they didn't have really that much to cover it, but yeah, really bizarre. But besides that, really good. The final song in the final song before the credits is amazing. Quite up all I was up like quite a bit after trying to find what the hell that song was because it was really good. It's not on Spotify. Um, I forgot what the name is. The artist is known, but the song itself is. I don't think I could find it. I could only find it on YouTube. But yeah, really good song. Really good film. I enjoyed it immensely, and I didn't give a star rating to Jette, but I'd give. I would give Stranger Days 4.5 stars. Whew, that's a big number for me, and it may have changed depending on where I am, how I'm feeling. I may have got kind of bored with it sometimes, but this, I don't know, just something really, it really did it for me for some reason. I enjoyed it immensely, and I can't believe I haven't heard about it. I think it is rather well known, especially if you lived through that days. I was not born in 1995, so I didn't know about it. It's somewhat well known, so I will probably have to change this title of the thing to maybe Science Fiction Gems. I wouldn't say they're obscure, but films that aren't sort of talked about these days. Yeah, I'd give Stranger Days 4.5 stars. I'd give Le Jette 4 stars. And then we gotta do the next one. What's the next one? What is the next one? What is the next one? Ikarie XB1 by Jindrik Pollack. It's about a starship in the year 2163. Not that far away. I will be. I ain't gonna die. I'll be 100. Oh god, I can't do the maths. I don't want to do the maths right now. But yeah, space, starships. Okay, so I just finished Ikarie XB1. It was pretty good. There was some good moments in it. The whole sort of spaceship, the relationship between everyone was pretty cool. I wouldn't say it was amazing as the first two films I watched in this video. I liked some of the images, some of the cool stop motion stuff. I found really funny just because of how it's aged. And there was a thing that was really bizarre. Somehow there was this shot of like underneath the spaceship, and they just zoomed. They like went like that a lot, and I don't know why. Maybe they ran out of things to put, so they just put in that shot again. It was weird, but yeah, there was some good moments. There was some good ideas, some good visuals. There was a robot, which was classic old school science fiction robot thing. Like, couldn't have got it any better. But for a film like that, it could have been worse. That's my positiveness about it. It could have been worse. I could have been freaking bored out of my mind with it. That's why I haven't watched 2001: A Space Odyssey. Although I probably would grow to love that if I just sat down and just said, "Right, Reese, you got to watch it." I just kind of get bored. It's very slow. 2001. This was a bit more fast paced, some good ideas. I'd give it 3 stars. Yeah, I thought it was alright, pretty good. 3 stars, maybe 2.5. Good rating. All right, the next one, World on a Wire, 1973 by Rena Werder Fassbinder. It's 204 minutes, so it's going to be a long one. Cybernetics engineer uncovers a masked corporate conspiracy. Sounds pretty cool. Yeah, and I'll see you when I've finished that. So I just finished World on a Wire, which is the penultimate film in this 5 films. This I'm very confused by. I enjoyed it for 3 hours and 30 minutes. It was a mini TV series. I think there was 2 parts, so I could see it being a sort of mini TV series. But yeah, 3.5 hours. It didn't feel too long. Like, I was surprised that it didn't. I wasn't turning it off. I powered on. It was boring at times. Like, there was a lot of just talking and dry. Oh, the Germans are dry, man. They got some dry comedy. And I think this is supposed to be a comedy. We'll get onto that. But yeah, it was very dry. A lot of talking heads. A lot of people just looking blankly, like, and zooming in. Like, there was like a lot of that, and it kind of made sense. This was really ahead of its time in terms of the science fiction, very like action packed, a lot of explosions. It was quite action packed. It wasn't action packed actually, but like a lot of people have been influenced by it. The Matrix was influenced by it quite a lot, I've heard, and you can hear it, you can see it by the story. But oh my god, I had to keep guessing myself. My mind was changing constantly throughout this one. I was at the beginning like, this is supposed to be serious. This is supposed to be serious. Like, this isn't comedy. And then maybe like an hour on, like, I've been watching this for an hour odd, and then my mind changed. Oh, wait a minute. There was a comedy part, that it was comedic. So maybe this is like really dry satire. But then thinking back at it after, I'm like, but this was 1973. Before this, there wasn't like, I mean, maybe there was some sort of action, maybe James Bond or something like that, which it was sort of taking the mick out potentially. But to be this sort of satirical, I'm like, it can't be satirical, because it wasn't taking the mick. This is like maybe one of the original science fiction 70s-esque, like that really sci-fi feel. This is kind of like, besides the black and white stuff that we saw in Ikarie XB1, this is kind of like the new wave of science fiction in this film. And it was like the themes and stories were, quite ahead of its time in the feeling. I'm sure there's others that were near it that had the same sort of ahead of its time, like Jette, which I think was before this, was also really ahead of its time. But this, I'm still scratching my head about whether or not this is like trying to take the mick out of genre films, is like a parody, because some of the stuff you're like, this can't be serious. The amount of times people were just staring at them, but they zoom in on their face, like, without really any sort of emotion. And like, there was one part which completely like was so bizarre. It was with a woman. I don't want to say any more. Like, if you watched it, you'll know. And then I'm like, what the fuck? What the hell is this film? And like, it kind of, at the end, you kind of feel that it's all sort of the same. It all sort of makes sense. But yeah, there was a lot of, and then a lot of. It was fucking bizarre. Okay. So crazy. Anyway, I don't know if I'm in focus or not, but the next one is called what is the next one called? The final one is, drumroll please, I think it's a French Canadian film, Dans le Ventre du Dragon, made in 1989 by Yves Simonieux. I believe it's French by the title. Should be. It translates to the belly of the dragon. So let's I shall see you when I've finished watching that. Oh, I would give World on a Wire 3.5 stars.
They're the same picture.
Okay, so I just finished Dans le Ventre du Dragon. Whoa, got it first try, I swear. I've got no glasses. This is glassless Reese for today. Got the old contact lenses on. Yeah, just finished Dans le Ventre du Dragon 2 times in a row. Also known as the belly of the dragon, I believe. And it was enjoyable. Good times were had, like ragtag crew of people that were handing out flyers. One of them takes some weird test, and it was good. It was pretty funny. I watched it dubbed, so I don't know if it had more of a punch if it was in French, if the sort of style, but the dubbing was good. I was a bit skeptical of like whether or not I should use the dubbed, because there are some dubs that I'm like, oh my god, this is awful. But this was done well. Had that gritty 90s-esque thing that I got from Strange Days. Super grimy, like dodgy company. I didn't find it all amazing. Like, story was pretty good. It just sort of ended. Had like a dumb guy. His name was Bozo. That was his actual name, Bozo. Had the boss guy, like the leader-ish guy called I forgot his name. Yeah, just four guys chilling out, handing out leaflets. One of them takes a dodgy test, like trial thing, goes a bit awry, and I'll leave it at that. It was fun. It was enjoyable. If you wanted to watch some dumb, I haven't watched the Mario film, and I don't think I ever will. This is what I expected the Mario film to be like. Yeah, I would give it 3 stars, maybe 2.5 if I'm feeling a bit pessimistic. So that was the films. Yeah, top of the list, Strange Days. And I think I'll have to check out if I actually did. This wasn't on purpose, I swear. This was not on purpose. 100% not on purpose. I think I was close. I think I may have put 1. I may have picked 2 films from 60s. Yeah, see, I picked 2 from the 60s. if I picked one from either the 50s or the 2000s, I would have had another banging thing for the title. I could have named it I watched 5 films from 5 decades in a row. If I thought about it, I could have done that, but I didn't. I just picked randomly 5 films, and I just had to pick Jette and Ikarie XB1 as they were both from the early 60s. But yeah, I'd put Strange Days up there as top. I'd put next down to it Jette, and then World on a Wire. Yeah, and then Ikarie XB1, and then Dans le Ventre de Dragon. That's the list, what I would rank them in terms of the ones I enjoyed the most, but all of them had some good stuff about them. Even the final 2 I enjoyed for different reasons. You could watch them both and have some fun with them. So yeah, if you like this video, let me know in the comment section down below. I quite like this sort of way of doing things, of saying I'm going to do this sort of like 5 things or however many things in a certain genre, and then do my first impressions of them. I already have 5 other films I kind of want to do another video on, so that will be pretty soon. Like, subscribe if you have any other suggestions for films that you would like me to watch, then put them in the comment section. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.